Welcome to the Rotary Club of Kerrville. We're so glad to have you here today. It's going to be a special day, and we're all very excited. Our board is very excited. I'd like to invite Jimmy Hutto for the pledge and the invocation.
Let us pray. Our dear Heavenly Father, bless this food to the nourishment of our body and our body to your service. Bless the servicemen, both foreign and domestic, and our first responders and our government, both local, state, and feds. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Jimmy. That was very nice. George is out of town, but apparently wrote a song, and we have asked Charlie if he will sing it for us or lead us in this song. Lead us in this song.
You tell one story about a rabbit, and the next thing you know, you're. Okay, this song goes to the tune of "Old Tannenbaum," the good old Christmas carol. It's called "Oh Tammy Proud." Are you ready? Oh Tammy Proud, oh Tammy Proud, your glory we just want to shout. COVID tried to get you down, but you're victorious, they resound. Oh Tammy Proud, oh Tammy Proud, a president we can tout. Oh Tammy Proud, oh Tammy Proud, your glory we just want to shout. All right, there you go.
Okay, guys, if you're going to put someone in an emotional state before a presentation, that's the way to do it. Okay, we are working without a net here, so just bear with us. I'd like to ask Jeff to come up and introduce our guest, President-elect Jeff.
Tammy Prout has some guests with us today. Would you like to introduce?
I would. I have my son Patrick and my husband Scott here with us today.
Robin, you have a gentleman with you today, please, ma'am. Nice to have you with us today, Mr. Cook. Thank you. And Mr. Jimmy Hutto. I have my granddaughter, Lily Hutto. Lily, thank you for being here today.
Okay, well, we have a lot to do, and I'm going to try my very best to get us out here in an hour. So we're going to get started. At first, I would like to call up your board. Janelle, would you like to come up? Anybody who is on the current board of directors, if you would come up to the stand, the podium. The reason I'm calling these people up is because I want you to know that no matter what I say over the next hour, none of it could have happened without these people. We did it as a team. We worked hard together, and all of our decisions were made as a team. So I want to thank each of them. I want you to look at their faces and understand that it wasn't me, it was all of us that did this. So I wanted you to see that. And I have a little gift for each of you. So could you pass these out? This is just a little gift to say thank you. And then we need to pass. Yeah. Okay, because we have a lot to do. We're going to go on, and not because I want to slide our board, but because we do have a lot to say. So this meeting is supposed to be a review of what we've done over the year. When I started, COVID had really kind of put a clamp on us. We had come out of the shutdown, but we were going to endure two major sharp rises in cases. And it got a little scary there for a while, but I have to tell you that this board and this club continue to be very busy. We serve the public in our community so well, and trying to find ways we could help when we couldn't do the things we had planned. So I want you to be really proud of yourselves and this board. So we'll get started with the presentation. Yes. Hey, Jeff, I can't use the clicker, so I'm gonna have to figure out a way to You have to just scroll to the next one. Could you help me with that? Okay, guys, so this is a presentation they're handing out. This is the presentation I'm going to be giving. So we'll start to say that if you recall in our weekly emails that I sent, I kept using the words people of action because it was true. And we needed to be people of action more than ever in this year. So it won't work. You actually literally have to scroll.
I don't know anything about Zoom.
No.
That's a show.
We're gonna have to just do this because I didn't make a PowerPoint, so I don't know.
Okay.
So as you recall, our year began in seclusion. We were only meeting via Zoom, which was really neat. And I have to tell you that Christy's not here, but I think our club would have gotten it done, but Christy took the lead on that and learned Zoom and then monitored our meetings. She facilitated each of our meetings, and we were averaging 40 to 50 to 60 of our members coming. So in a year where you were separated, many clubs stopped the meeting, but we did not. We never missed a week. And a lot of that was because Christy started us on Zoom. So the next one. And if you recall, the first half of our year is going to be trying to fight something that came out of Zoom. So the UGRA river cleanup project was reimagined to where your little group could go out and clean up by yourself and then kind of tell UGRA what you did. So our Rotary club and our club membership gathered together and they did a river cleanup on July 25th. Now, our first meeting, my first meeting as president was July 8th. So I want you to keep in mind when I start reading out these dates, how busy we were. So on August 22nd, we hadn't done anything since the river cleanup, and it was pretty depressing. We were meeting, but membership attendance was a little bit low, but it just felt like we were in a rut. So Christy said, we got to do something, Tammy. We just got to do something. And so we came up with this. We found out at that time that the Hill Country Veterans Center food pantry was running low on food. So we had a food drive, a drive-through food drive on August 22nd. And this club came out of seclusion with their donations to help. And we gave them 2 or 3, you can see all the food there. That's just a little bit of what they did. So that was our first project. And then we didn't slow down any after that. On September 2nd, we held our Labor Day walkathon. We couldn't do some of the things that we used to do, like hand out food and have little safety awareness booths, but we handed out water and we put all of our golf signs that tell Rotary story along the Riverwalk. And we were able to get out the awareness and just let people be seen and see other people and introduce people, our community to Rotary. That was on September 7th. So as you know, the blood drive was a big deal to me. It was in honor of my mom, who had to have blood transfusions weekly due to being sick with cancer. It was a lot, so much so that the doctors even told us it was too much. Anyway, so when it came time for me to think of something that I could do new for the club, because every president kind of puts something that's special to them into their year of service projects, I chose to do the blood drive. Now, if you think about people are scared of COVID, being around other people, blood drive probably was not a smart idea. However, the South Texas Blood and Tissue Center was desperately in need of donations. So we went ahead and had our very first one at Kerrville Motors on my mother's birthday. So that was the very first one, and we filled the whole slots. So I was so excited, and this club came through as they always did. Throughout this time, Todd Odom had been leading our trash pickup. We have an Adopt a Highway along Oak Creek Road, and he did that multiple times throughout the year. I think we had to miss 1 quarter, but we got it done at least 3 times throughout the year. So again, we're busy. We're only in October, and we've already done multiple projects. Then we come to Polio Plus. Now, At this time, the CDC was saying you could be outside and it was safer. But it was World Polio Day. It was a big event for World Polio Day. It was a big anniversary. And we were really being asked by Rotary International to be sure and have our fundraiser, but we didn't really know what to do. So I put a call out to the club and said, we need volunteers. Somebody let me know if you're interested. And Doug Winery and Bob Schmierbeck stood up and said that they would lead that charge, and they did. And we had a beautiful event at the River Star Park Pavilion. We had a band, we had food, we had silent auctions. And once again, our club outraised every other club in District 5840. And we raised 13,000 some odd dollars, which was over our goal. So we budgeted 10,000 and we beat that goal in a COVID year. So Bob, I want to thank you and Doug so much. That meant so much to me that someone would step up and do that. Fast forward to November, we are sick of, a lot of people are sick of Zoom. I mean, we're starting to see some attendance fall, and our board was worried about keeping our club together during all of this. So we had lots of people that just weren't going to attend Zoom at all or anymore. A lot of people that didn't have access to internet. So on November 4th, we had our very first in-person meeting, but that was not before your board came here with John and we went through every little piece of what the safety protocols would be to make sure that we would keep our membership safe. So we did, we all felt good, and we had that very first meeting on November 4th. On November 6th, it's historic in our club that we host a Veterans Breakfast in honor of veterans for Veterans Day. We do this at the Hill Country Veterans Center, and we didn't miss this year. We did it again on November 6th. We also gave some more food. So this event is led by Donna Peterson and Stephanie Scramita from our satellite club. Although our regular Noon Club members also participate, it's not just, it was our satellite club that led this project. So I wanted to give them the shout out that they deserve. So November 28th, it's time for ringing the bell. Now, there's only one man that can make us ring bells, and that's Dave Samuel. And Dave volunteered. He said he would do it again. And although it was harder to get people to fill the slots, I think a little bit, we filled the slots and we got the bell rung and we raised money for Salvation Army. I don't know if there was ever a report of how much, or
There was, and I can't remember.
but the key is we were there and we did our part for the Salvation Army as a club. Again, keeping our boots on the ground, helping the community as we have done all these other years we've done throughout COVID. On December 8th, we had our second blood drive. Now, if you recall, in December, that was when the cases really spiked and it was pretty scary for the hospital, for first responders, for everyone. So we moved it to the Hill Country Youth Event Center in the Happy State Bank Expo Hall. And it worked out really well. We had plenty of social distancing. People felt comfortable. Everybody was wearing masks. But the key that you should know is that not only did we do this for the South Texas Blood and Tissue Center, but the Youth Event Center never charged us. They let us be there at no cost. So if you ever get a chance to say thank you, tell Jake thank you. Then on January 11th, okay, sounds like I've said a lot already and we're only on January 11th. We had our second trash pickup, and Todd has reported that he had plenty of people show up. And there's food. So the next time that he puts out a call for help, remember he has donuts and coffee and all kinds of stuff. Yeah. Okay, and then March 16th, we had the storm, the winter storm. We had several things go on, but our next event was March 16th. And we had our third quarterly blood drive. It was pretty awesome. We filled the calendar again, but I was a little nervous there for a while because we had a glitch with our sign-up system, but we, within 2 or 3 days, filled it. So thank you to you guys. You're always there when asked. On April 7th, we held our first responders luncheon and honored first responders for their effort. I know you remember this event. It's coordinated with the various departments. The departments actually pick the person of the year, but we honor them with a Service Above Self award. This year, there were some Lifetime Achievements Awards that went to the Sheriff, Rusty Herholzer, former Sheriff, to former Chief Deputy Clay Barton, retired Constable Gene Huffaker, and a longtime chief of the Elm Pass Fire Department, Jerry Vincent. So that was really a beautiful thing. A lot of you were in attendance, but if you weren't, I suggest you go next year. It's really something special. The first responder golf tournament. So our first responder luncheon was scheduled for February, but it really wasn't a good time to have it. We, as a board, the committee came to us and we said, why don't we push it back? And one of the things that we did was, or they did was, move it to right in front of the first responder golf tournament and made first responder week. So I don't know if that's going to go on like that every time, but it seemed to be very, work very well to do them at that time. So I don't know how to go going forward, but this year we were forced to do it that way and it worked very well. On April 14th, we had the Spring Veterans Breakfast. So we do a breakfast for veterans twice a year. And we use the Hill Country Veterans Center because that's the perfect place to do it. And we think that it's a hidden gem. A lot of veterans go there for help. It's not really something that people talk about a lot. They don't get a lot of publicity, but they're doing good work every day on the behalf of veterans. So we host ours there. On May 8th, Rise Against Hunger. Now, I don't know, my husband and my son will know, but I'm pretty stubborn. And I was very, very frustrated with the things that we had to cancel. It was just, I don't know what happened, but it just got to me. And we had to cancel our Rise Against Hunger event last year. And I just didn't want to do it this year. So I talked to the board said we'd already budgeted the money. Not only had we budgeted the money, but we had received district grant money to host the event. So anyway, I made contact and within 2 weeks, we planned our Rise Against Hunger event. But that left me with the fear of nobody's gonna come. How are we gonna package all this food? Which was really my own problem because I've never had to doubt this club. It always comes through. And we packaged 14,256 packages in just over 2 hours. And so I want to thank y'all so much. That was just awesome. Not more than a week or two later, we were handing out our scholarships. Now, what you know is that none of us on the board had been on the scholarship committee. And our scholarship committee didn't know they were on the scholarship committee. So what I had to do is enlist help, in which Roy Boudreaux stood up and took that task and contacted the schools, and we got all the information out. We got over 30 applications, and we were able to award $25,000 in scholarships to local students of high school and 5 students that are currently in college. So some of those are children of members of this club, but most of them were not. So thank you, Roy, for stepping up when it was kind of scary. And that was really a neat thing to do. Our club has been given $25,000 in scholarships for many years now. Then we get to, I don't know if Jeff Anderson is online, but our Youth Citizenship Awards is awesome. He had plenty of struggles. He had his own health issues that he was dealing with, not to mention the schools not wanting to bring people here. They were still trying to keep people separate. So Jeff called me and said, I think we ought to just postpone it. If you recall, in the fall, we had last year's Youth Citizenship Awards via Zoom this fall. But I told him I didn't think that I wanted to do that. He said he was going to go make presentations at each class, and we had already scheduled this. And poor Clint has been going crazy with the programs anyway, so I didn't want to do that. And he didn't complain. And I just asked if he would create a PowerPoint presentation based on going from school to school. And he did, and it was really awesome, and he should be commended. He's not here, but if he's listening, I want him to know how much I appreciated that. And if you see him, please tell him thank you. So you get to June 22nd. Our club budgets money for Christmas party, a couple picnics, and that's under our fellowship committee. But we didn't get to have any of that. So we had quite a bit of money left over. And when it came time to install Christy as district governor, she wanted to make it a fellowship event, invite all of our club members and all of their spouses to come celebrate with her. And she didn't want anybody to have to pay. I think historically it's more of a dinner and people pay to attend. But Christy wanted a party and nobody to have to pay. So we looked at our budget. We have plenty of money in our fellowship budget. So we were able to host this wonderful event, which most club members don't get to see a district governor installation, but we did. And we installed our own Christy. And I was really proud that we could do that. Last week, as you know, I talked about how our budget went through. It's really a long process and nobody really wants to hear all the details or the back and forth of our discussions, but these were board decisions. So when I called them up here, I want you to know this was board, all of us did this. And all of you did that with the fundraising. So, you know, on June 23rd, we were able to give Peterson Health a $10,000 donation towards their Today, Tomorrow, Always capital campaign. And that was due to the fact that we couldn't do a lot of the things that we budgeted for. So we had some money that was available and that's what we did with it. If you were here and you saw Corey's response, it was pretty awesome. So I know it was, you know, you made a good choice when somebody is that appreciative of something that you've done for them. Then June 24th, our very last blood drive. It was really awesome. I really felt so inspired and loved by this club that you stood up and helped us finish that last blood drive, because it was hard. People were on vacations, you know, it was pretty difficult, but we filled up, mostly filled up our appointment calendar. So I want you to know that during the period when South Texas Blood and Tissue Center is extremely low on donations, and when doctors are actually having to make decisions on who gets blood because the levels of available blood is so low, that our club provided 91 units of whole blood, 18 double red cell donations, 2 red cell and plasma donations. And I want to thank you for that too. Okay, so we're gonna kind of back up a little bit and say some fun stuff that I couldn't get into the presentation. I wanted you to know that we budgeted, and I've already said, the $10,000 for Polio Plus, but we raised the $13,610. That's what this club did. Not the board, not me, this club. I also want to tell you that foundation giving is really important to Rotary International. It does so many different things. And every year, each club is asked to give some money. So we make high budgets. We try to hope that we're going to do well. So we in COVID, we weren't sure. So we budgeted $25,000 of what our club would give to Rotary International. And as I told you before, we more than doubled it or just doubled it at $50,231. That's huge. So and also you should know there was a very large anonymous donation, and I don't know how much, and I don't know who, but I know that despite whatever amount of donation that was, we still had exceeded our goal. So congratulations to each of you, and thank you so much for doing that. Where are we at now? Oh, so you would think that we would be done. We're busy. It seems like we've been busy every day, but there's still more to come. So one of the things that we wanted to do, I've been on the board for 5 years, and this topic has come up. Now, it has been because of Janelle Peralt that this project didn't go by the wayside. So Janelle kept holding us accountable for the fact that we were gonna have a area in which we honored Rotarians that we had lost. A tree would be planted in their honor, and somehow we would explain to the public when they walked by that tree that it was for a Rotarian that was lost. This began in the beginning of the year, and the conversations went on. It was more about where are we going to put it. It was really, I talked to Ashley Boyle, and there was lots of conversations, lots of options. And in this little presentation, you should know that one of the first meetings I took in early July was with Mark McDaniel, then city manager. And I don't want to take credit for Rotary Grove, because that was something that Mark said. He thought it would be a great idea. And when I shared it with the board, they all agreed too. So Rotary Grove is coming. We have decided it's not contract signed, it's not a done deal in cement, but verbally, everybody has agreed that it's going to go on the campus of Shriner University. And that little walkway that I'm showing is going from the Trailhead Beer Garden to the river. It's really beautiful. And Ashley Boyle and Marta Diffin did a lot of this work on behalf of the club at Shriner, really most of the work, because she was the only one that had access to Shriner administration. So Shriner administration and the city of Kerrville, Ashley Boyle and I all met, and everybody agrees on the location. We don't know how many trees we can put, but the gist is in the coming months, there will be a bench. That's what's holding us up right now, is we have to agree on where we're going to put the bench, because the city of Kerrville will pour a slab, and that memorial bench will go on that slab where Shriner agrees and city agrees we can put it. And then there will be an inscription that says, "This is Rotary Grove in honor of the people that we lost." We'll give you more details when we have actual wording and pictures, but it will be a really special place to just go sit and remember some of the people that we've lost over the years. And I don't think that we could have found a more beautiful place, truly, to have it. We won't be able to plant all the trees. Right now, we have 11 that we need to plant in honor of Rotarians that we lost, and that's a lot. We won't be able to plant all the trees across that, but there will be trees planted at Shriner University in memory of our Rotarians. So just know that that's coming. Okay, so we have some awards to give out. We have some fun stuff to do, and it looks like we're doing okay on time. It's time to do Rotarian of the Year. I was a recipient of that one year. I know it's pretty special, and I also know when I got it, I felt there were other people more deserving. So it's really hard in a club that does as much as we do, and as people work as hard as they do. But when I started talking about Rotarian of the Year, I can tell you that it was unanimous among the board who it should be. And I think that we need to take this year out of every other year and let it be special in the history books, because this person has already received Rotarian of the Year. But we couldn't have done what we've done without this person. So we've decided that the Rotarian of the Year will be Clint Morris. What you don't know is, what you do know is that we've had meetings every year, every week. But that wouldn't be possible without Clint's tenacity and professionalism and hard work. Because sometimes finding people in a pandemic to speak, whether Zoom or in person, is really difficult. And we had multiple conversations. He reads newspaper articles to find different ideas. He's constantly trying to get better and more exciting programs to our club. But in this particular year, I don't think anybody worked harder for 52 weeks than Clint Morris, and we wanted to do this for him.
There, you gotta sit
There we go, there we go. Otherwise, just look funny.
Well, I'm absolutely flabbergasted. I was flabbergasted last year and I'm even more this year with all the wonderful people in our club that do so much and so much more, in my view, than what I do. It's a humbling experience, but I want to say one thing that I've thought about more and more as we had so many good speakers this year. We used to have a program committee of 4 or 5 people. And that was a committee and you'd appoint it every year and hardly anybody would do anything. But that's what we did. And what our club has managed to do in the last few years, instead of a program committee, we have turned the entire club into the program committee. And that's why we have great programs. I couldn't think of all the things that we have speakers by myself. And I want to thank everybody who called me or emailed me or caught me in a meeting and said, what about this? And I said, wow, what a great idea. And I hope we'll continue that as long as the whole club is the program committee. We'll continue to have great programs. And thank you all very much.
So we talked about people that have done so much for the club, and I would like to call Dave Rittenhouse, who's not here, Jimmy Hutto and Brenda Thompson up to the podium. Any one of these people could have been selected for Rotarian of the Year. Any of them. They work so hard. Jimmy Hutto is at every single event. He's volunteering, he's picking up silent auctions, he's hosting picnics. There's so many things that Jimmy Hutto does that he is deserving, and I will know will continue, and hopefully you'll have your time because you deserve it. And then Brenda Thompson, when we started meeting in person, our Sergeant at Arms committee, none of them were really comfortable coming to in-person meetings. So if you've noticed since November, it's been Brenda at the front desk signing you in and getting your attendance. So I want to say thank you to each of you. And I have created, well, it's through Rotary, but this is called the Distinguished Service Citation. And I want you guys to have it. You so deserve it. And if you could come up here. There. Janine and Brenda. Here's a little gift for you. Well, no, thank you guys. Thank you so much. Okay, so these are some of the people that have gone over and above for you this year. Everybody's worked hard, but I want to make sure that we recognize people that gone over and above. And if I forget a name, I'm so sorry. We've tried, but there's 3 other people that have done a lot for us, and maybe you haven't noticed. In January, maybe February, Dave Rittenhouse was having difficulty keeping up with the Zoom meetings. It was all on Dave for a very long time. And finally, he put a call out for help and asked people to help him. And several people signed up. The ones that are the most active are Bruce McKenzie and Gerald Arian. And if it were not for those 2, I don't think that we would have been able to keep up with our Zoom. So you helping him is so awesome. I have a couple gifts for you. I don't know if you would like to come up and get them, or I could come and give them to you later. But I just want to say thank you so much for doing that, because it really kept our club together. We're averaging now, the attendance in person is getting bigger. But we're still averaging somewhere between 20 and 30 people online. Those are people that wouldn't be seeing our programs or being involved in our club. So thank you so much. Gina, you don't have to come up here, but I wanted to point out, and I've said thank you privately to each of them, but I want to point out that Gina, our treasurer, and Christy, our club administrator, do lots of work, and they expect to do lots of work because that's what they signed up for. But they didn't sign up for the things that they've had to do this year. And I want to make sure that you guys know to thank them. Specifically, Gina is individually billing people who are coming for attendance for lunches, trying to keep all of the invoices correct, so that she can allow people to be at home or be here wherever they're comfortable. And she's never complained, not one time. But what little bit I know about doing books, that had been a nightmare. And I think that we should give her a round of applause. And Christy Vandenberg is just a force. So she's awesome. She's done a great job. She has been a great mentor to me, and she's not here for me to say that. So I've told her privately, but at the very beginning, it got a little depressing, and it was Christy that pushed me through and got me motivated to help motivate the club. So in addition, Christy did so much, like I said, with the Zoom programs, making sure that we could all stay together. So when you see her next time, give her a little extra hug. Okay, don't do this one yet. Okay, so we've talked about how our club year went and how we had generous donations. We couldn't use budgeted money. And that left us with a surplus at the end of the year. Now, surplus is good, maybe in government, but in a service organization, we need to do something good with that. That's what our club is here for. So our board discussed what we were going to do with the money. And it was my opinion, and the club agreed, but it was my opinion that we should honor some of the organizations and projects that people aren't really talking about. One is a project that's really special. The others are donations to organizations that have silently struggled, not asked for help, not yelled to the public. They've just sat back and tried to plug along and do the best that they could do. And then we're also going to honor some unsung heroes, in my opinion, volunteer fire departments who during the winter storm Uri were out day and night. They were assisting all first responders they could assist. And then they stayed and provided water and showers and laundry services to people that were without water and power. I felt like they should be honored. And if you recall, a while back, we received a $600 donation from another club when they heard about our storm and asked us to do something nice with it. So we put all that money together with money that we had left over. And today, we're going to make some presentations. The reason we're doing it this way is because I told you at my first meeting that we have to do everything together. It's not just one person. I wanted new people to come on boards, and I wanted new people to do service projects. But COVID kind of kept that from happening. But you will get to see the fruits of your labor by seeing the faces of these people as they get their money. So the very first one is, if you recall, on August 6th, there was a terrible accident that a vehicle had run through the home of a family, and it went through a bedroom and it injured a young girl who a few weeks later passed away. That little girl is Ariana Lopez, and she is was a student at Shriner University. These are her teachers and her principal. So would y'all please come up? Yeah. Starkey, I'm so sorry, Starkey. I'm so sorry. Can you come up here? This is Haley Monkey and Jenna Wintrick. Jenna is the principal and Haley was Ariana's teacher. And what they've done is they've decided to create a memorial bench, and I think more than just a bench in the area dedicated to Ariana. And it's going to be very expensive because it's not going to be just a little regular buddy bench. I'll let her tell you a little bit more about it, But because of the hard work of this club and the decisions of our board, we would like to give you $3,000 on behalf of that project.
I wasn't prepared to speak, so bless me. Yes, thank you so much. We are extremely grateful for such a wonderful giving community that helps with our projects, especially to honor such a wonderful, beautiful girl. Our hope is to have a very special bench that is going to be custom made. Also with the lending library. I happen to be married to a wonderful carpenter who's going to be doing that, so that's good. And then we're also going to have just a memorial garden at our school where people can go and enjoy watching their kids play, grab a book and read. And so we just really, really appreciate everything. So thank you so much.
And then what's next one? Okay, so I talked about the other special gifts. I'd like to first recognize Hill Country Arts Foundation, Museum of Western Art, Playhouse 2000, and Kerr Arts and Cultural Center. If y'all could come forward. In my job and Carolina's job, it's hard not to notice how difficult it's been for these arts organizations. I know KACCs are right across the street from me. They went from having regular people come in and not anymore. Playhouse 2000 had to shutter. I mean, they didn't have any events. And then when they could have events, it was at 25%. Point being is that I've never, not once, seen any of these people ask for money, but I think that they were affected a lot more than we know. I haven't seen it. And we wanted to do something special for them to help them get through the hard time that they went. So we are presenting each of these organizations with a check for $1,000.
We get a picture.
And the next group is, as you can see, first responders are important to me. With my son and my husband, we're a first responder family. I'm also in the newspaper business. So during the storm, I was stuck in my office for 3 days, sleeping on the couch and listening to the scanner. I can't tell you how often I heard other first responders say to disregard because the volunteer fire department was going to be there. So going and helping people get out of their homes with no power and freezing weather, or people that were stuck, and not to mention the things that happened after the storm. The volunteer fire departments did so much. And I was really touched by that, and I conveyed what I had heard to the board, and the board agreed. So on Rotary's behalf, we're making a donation. We took $5,000 and divided it between the 8 volunteer fire departments. So each volunteer fire department will be getting $675. So if you're with a volunteer fire department, could you come forward, Bud? Would you come forward? I think we only have 2. I tried to get in touch with as many as I could, but it was kind of hard. So. And Kira. Well, thank you. Inspirational to hear and watch. So we only had the 2 here, but just so you know, the Hunt Volunteer Fire Department, Harper Volunteer Fire Department, Mountain Home Volunteer Fire Department, Ingram Volunteer Fire Department, Divide Volunteer Fire Department, and Turtle Creek Volunteer Fire Department will all be receiving checks from the Rotary Club of Kerrville. I want to say I hope that you're pleased with what we did with the money. We tried to really be conscientious when we selected what to do. But we're really proud to do it on behalf of Rotary. So thank you. Was it? Okay. One thing that we didn't discuss was some things that we didn't have pictures of or couldn't present in our presentation. So at Christmas time, our club gave $1,200 to the children at the women's shelter to be able to buy Christmas presents. That need made us aware of that need, and we answered that call. In addition, our board was happy to assist with $1,500 to the Kerrville Christmas Lighting Corporation's initial campaign in the fall for the yellow lighted decorations on the poles. So that's something else that this club did. I think that's it. So we have some finishing business, but before we go on to that, I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's been really an honor to serve as your president. Being president didn't make me special. What was special about the year was each of you and our board. We worked hard. You worked hard. There was never a call that went out that wasn't answered. And I want to say that we're a really special group of people. And I want to ask again to be involved, to be engaged, and to trust that your board is going to be inviting to you at every service project. And maybe next year for Jeff's year, when we're back to meeting in person, just make it a goal to attend at least or participate in at least one service project. I think that you will feel very special that you did that. It will mean a lot more when you see us giving out these checks, because you know that you did part of that. So with that, I want to say thank you. And I have some notes. That one is Charlie wants to give a message from Christy since she couldn't be here.
Thank you, Tammy. This is a message from Christy to Tammy. I'll read it. It's, Tammy, you have done an amazing job as president in a year where so many challenges occurred. When you put all accomplishments into a slideshow, it's a testament to your leadership and that our community continued to strive and our clubs continued to strive within this community in spite of the COVID-19 pandemic. Indeed, you kept all the moving parts going forward with a positive, enthusiastic attitude that was infectious and made the whole club follow your lead. I'm so proud of you and your accomplishments, and sorry that I will not be able to attend on June 30th to celebrate you. Thank you, my friend, for your generous spirit and amazing determination to make this year a great success. You did it. And that's on behalf of Governor Christy Van.
Thank you so much. That's just super sweet. But as with all meetings, we have some club business to go over. Invoices just went out on July 1st. So please look at your invoices. If it showed they didn't, they will go out on July 1st. I did that last week. Your invoices are going to go out. When they do, please look and see if you owe for 1 month or 2. Just double check, make sure you're looking for it the first week of July. Sorry, Gina. And make sure that those get paid. We're not having a problem. It's not like we're looking to collect. I'm just trying to remind people because it's easier to remember if somebody's reminding you. Also, I put in our weekly email that our lunches will go up by a cost of 50 cents per week. This is something we agreed to when we made the switch. That was done 3 years ago to do it at the amount that we've been charging, which was $13 for 2 years, and then go up, and that's what we're doing. So that's going to be effective July 1st. So I wanted to give you the heads up so that you didn't question your billing. And with that, we have some wine to give away. So let's see. Dave, are you wearing a pin? Are you wearing your Rotary pin? Come get a bottle of wine. Okay, Samuel, I'm so sorry.
No chance.
John Lang, are you wearing a pin? Let's see. Can you tell I'm just picking? Sorry. Jeff Winling, I don't think you've ever won wine. And I can see your pin. EA, are you wearing a pin? Well, David Jones, come get your pin. I thought you had. Okay, guys. No, he won it. They're telling you to take it. Yeah. Okay, guys, that's all for our program. I was worried we were gonna fit it in. It looks like we're doing it just in the amount of time. I want to thank each of you for coming, each of you for this year. And I know, Jeff, that you're gonna have a wonderful year because this is a great group of people, as you know. Okay, and Jeff wants to say something.
I don't wear shoes like you do, Tammy, but they are going to be very hard to fill. Thank you.
Okay, guys, if you'll join me in the four-way test. Of the things that we think, say, or do, is it true? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?